cunts, don't forget to click the subscribe button. But that's a good deal. It could be a great deal. If you don't fuck it up, you know. Why am I looking at you when I say fuck it up? You know. So they haven't talked to him, met him.
He is on the board.
I know, yeah. Well, that doesn't mean shit. Yeah, I'd be quiet right now. Now's the time to be silent, not say anything. But no, this is exactly how it's supposed to work. Exactly.
We did role playing, which really helped. I think it's good. Eh? Yeah, it's good. The role playing for the group.
I think one of the things which was good in the role play which came up was, you know, when you were, because we made him the doc in the scenario, and he was saying,
Really? Well, that was poor judgment.
You know, so I thought some of the good questions were like, well, what are you going to do to the clip?
Yeah.
Do you know what I mean? Like, you know,
you remember once when I told him about he's going to get paid $140,000 per month?
Yeah.
He went crazy and he was like, I'm on ayahuasca right now. So I did the same thing, same doctor. He didn't show the same emotion, but I'm pretty sure they...
Yeah, well, there's a few people in the room that are ayahuasca specialists. This old man isn't one. Brian could give ayahuasca lessons now. Couldn't you? You could take somebody through the process. You want to take me through the process?
Someday.
Okay. No. Well, okay. So, believe me, if I wanted to go do ayahuasca when this thing ended, he and I'd be on a plane, and he'd be prepping me, you know. But that's great. But that's exactly 10 minutes. I mean, Christ, that's great. And it's very real. It's very real. And if you don't have people to role play with, I mean, the mirror, tape what you're going to say, you know. And I tell you, you won't know what a poor presenter you are until you tape yourself, and then you really won't know how poor you are until you film yourself. And it's an eye-opening experience, believe me. But the more you practice, and that's good, the better you're going to get. You're going to get. But that's and as Thomas said, got to reclose and make them on the hook to do something. And when they don't, you're on them. But make sure you respond to your timeline. Don't say you're going to send it tonight and then send it tomorrow afternoon, because that releases them. That releases them. It's like when the brothers, they send them a bottle of whiskey and they send them a flower. They're deepening the hook. They're deepening the hook. And even though it's not a formal commitment in writing, it's a moral commitment, a social commitment. And they still work. They still bloody work. I mean, we've got kids, flowers to the secretary of the big hitter you're going to go see. And, can you ensure, please, that I know I asked you to put it on his desk a couple of days ago, but, you know, if you can, I know you can't force, but I really appreciate it if you could ask him if he read it in preparation for my meeting tomorrow afternoon. And they do. They do. That works more successfully if they're assistants or gals. It doesn't work so well or as effectively when the guys. Guys seem to be able to tell when you're buttering them up more often than the gals, because you know that sweetness thing still works. Now I wasn't that sweetness kind of guy, but the kids make it work. The kids make it work. But that end of the continuum of sales has worked, ever since I've been involved in sales. More than 50 years. And any questions from him, of him? Now, who's going to present tomorrow the first, who's number one? All of a sudden you're quiet. You said I'm one and I'm last and I'm first.
No, we're last.
Who's first?
You guys are first. Number
They're first.
11.
Yeah, 11. Yeah, this is why we got that. No.
No. Is it? Huh? Who's first tomorrow?
It's him.
Huh?
It's him.
It's him, number 11.
Yeah.
Who got the second guy?
We are the second.
So he's first. I don't want to say it.
Wow. Now, who is not ready, whether you're first or fourth?
There you go. That's why he's not first.
Okay, so that means the other two are ready.
No, we're not ready. We're third.
Oh, we're ready, man.
Okay. Okay.
Do we have some time in the morning?
Yes, you do. Yes, you do.
Yeah.
Yeah, you do. Okay. Is this last minute homework before the test? And when I found out when I came back from the military that I was really, really a lot smarter than I thought I was, and in preparation, because I used to take double 24 units a semester, which is double, and I have all these classes, and I could study for finals and ace the finals, because up until that time, even as a young officer, you're the sorriest excuse for an officer in this man's army. I was a dunce in high school. I was, dunce, moron, meathead, misc, and wetback. But then when I went through the officer program very cleanly and I graduated with high marks, well, that's the Army. Maybe that's not the real world. And then when I came back to academia and I virtually aced everything, and I said, well, fuck. And then and of course, I always had a cocky self-confidence that wasn't based on any experience other than getting laid, which was a good benchmark. It was a good benchmark, and I excelled at that. And I excelled. I was a 5% officer, 5%, top 5%. Competed against West Point guys and shit like that, and but when I got back and I realized that academically I was kind of gifted, and I had almost a photographic memory. When in my last year in high school, I was absent 145 days, last full year. There's only 180 days in the year. When they pass out the books, we'd have these lockers, and we put the lockers in. And the last day of school, when I took the lockers out, there would be a dust line around the books because I never took a book home, not one fucking book in a year. And I graduated with a 2.55 average out of 4. And if I didn't get it from osmosis, sleeping in the back of the room, I didn't get it because I never did homework. And in the mornings, first period, I'd go to coffee dance for a Bloody Mary, a little tune-up. So I'd spend first period, which was 55 minutes, drinking Bloody Marys. Then I'd show up for second period, and I had a guy that worked in the health office and at one of the administration office that could give me notes. The two guys that I'm still buddies with, we used to write each other's notes to get out of class. One was in the health office, one was the administration office, and I forget which office I was in, but we'd write to each other notes. And then about 3/4 through the semester, somebody figured out these 3 guys are always gone. And when they looked at the files and notes, Walt signed it for Howard, Howard signed it for Dan, and Walt could forge my dad's signature really well. I mean, just really, he had this big swooping things for when we couldn't get by with a note and we wanted to just be absent from school. And this was my senior year in high school, and whatever I got on the test, it was just by accident. It was serendipity, and so I had no benchmark because I had no aspiration to go to university. None. The only reason I went is because I heard a couple of smart kids in the class and a couple of girls were going on, so that looked like a good playing field for me. I just follow them to university. I did all right as a senior in high school. I was going to be on them like stink on shit in college, and I was. But when I came back, and then after that first high performance endeavor, which was becoming an officer, And then that was my quantum leap, my first quantum leap. But so tomorrow we're going to have some time in the beginning for you laggards. And I'm hoping I'm getting rid of this fucking cold after you're gone. And and we'll go through the cases. I don't think we'll go through all 4 of you tomorrow. We should be able to. We have to. But I mean, so my plan is 2 in the morning, 2 in the afternoon. That's the plan. And and you'll have the opportunity to, I won't say pick apart the others, but you have an opportunity to see loopholes that they may have forgotten or missed. But it's a pretty classic case. A couple of you have gone to graduate school and studied these cases, and the results are significantly different for the guys that went to the proper schools. But again, this is how we used to teach the course in 93, 4, and 5, and the results were dog shit. The results of you going out there because you didn't link it to self-esteem. You didn't link it to the other things that you got to get your shit in order. Which all made you a better salesperson because you had more self-confidence, more self-esteem when you're out there talking to the board members, the accounting firms, the law firms, the banks, and most importantly, the sellers. And that's why it wasn't as successful, and that's why I changed it in 96 to the seminar that you went to the first time. And of course, then this, the serendipity of the hardcore, which has just been the last 2 or 3 years. Tonight we eat in the castle. 7 o'clock, I believe. Drinks. I believe 7:30 dinner. And any questions from anybody about anything?
Do we have time in the morning to work on the cases, or
was he asleep? I just said yes. Yeah. You know, see, Doyle's got fuck you money. And so, yeah, that's what happens when you get fuck you money, you know? You don't pay as close attention. But for the rest of you mere mortals, it used to be thought that doctors had fuck you money, which isn't right. No fucking way. We have 2 medical doctors in this room, and they would be the first to tell you. But back when I was a little kid, the guys that went off to medical school were considered instant multimillionaires, fuck you money. The world's changed, yes. The world's changed. And now we got, doctors that want to be, this is an exaggeration, electricians or some shit, But we don't have doctors that want to be engineers. Society hasn't fallen that low yet. I've had a doctor that would rather be a paramedic for the fire department, Okay, guys, if there's nothing else, we'll see you tonight. Okay. Yes, ma'am.
What was the reason why Roberto was in touch with the billionaire? Did he reach out to him, or he reached out?
No, he was the private equity.
He was a private equity guy.
And this guy buying it.
That's the private equity that he used?
Yeah.
Oh, I see.
No. He didn't use. The private equity guy made him 7 offers. He didn't take any of them.
He's going to use them.
Yeah, someday he will use them. And maybe for his exit. Congratulations on the deal. Now get it done. Very good, kids. Thank you.